G'day guys, my name is Lord Tommy again with another Sonic the Hedgehog toy item collectible review. As you know, I'm Lord Tommy. We have the little bluester here. Good old Sonic the Hedgehog. Seems to be messing around with my deodorant. 24-hour extra dry protection. Been running around? Probably have, but we shall discuss that another day. Let's get into this review. This is more Sonic / Sega than actual Sonic itself, if that even makes sense. But this is the actual review that we're more or less talking. This is a Sonic the Hedgehog Mega Drive Arcade Nano video game. Yeah, like I said, it's Sonic, but leans more towards Sega proprieties than actual Sonic. But it's been Sonic, so it's kind of like a blend sort of thing. But you know, I figured I actually picked this up a while ago, so I never had time to actually review it. Not necessarily because I didn't want to review this, more or less because I was like, do you guys really want me to discuss about this item or not? But anyway, let's get into the actual item itself, shall we? This item was more or less predominantly sold in the UK. Now, this was never released in Australia, regretfully. Actually, not that I've seen. I will be corrected. Not that I've seen. And I have looked around. I actually picked up this eBay, sorry. And I have looked around. I could never find in any of, like, you know, eBay's game, game traders and all that sort of stuff. I could never find in one of those stores. So I'm guessing this is a UK exclusive. Now, as you can probably tell, in Australia we did have the Sega Mega Drive. In the US it was the Sega Genesis, and I'm pretty sure that in the UK they used Sega Mega Drive as well. But yeah. Now, this was developed, or more or less manufactured, made, whatever you like to refer to as Art Games. I was about to say Art Games, but here's a little. Okay, you can't really see because obviously it doesn't focus, but it's a logo and it's Art Games Digital Media Entertainment. You can check out their website. It's www.artgames.net. Interesting. I've never seen a corporation use .net. I know they use predominantly .com, but that's a whole different ballgame. So yeah, now this came in two iterations. The first iteration is you only got this little nano arcade stick with all its peripherals and all that sort of stuff by itself in kind of like a plastic seal. This one came in an arcade. They're exactly the same. The only difference is one comes in plastic seal, whereby this comes in kind of like a little casing of an arcade. Now, when this initially first came out, I was like, I didn't want to get it because it was just an arcade stick and it was just, you know, a blister case with a picture of Sonic, and that's about it. I was just like, you know what, why am I going to waste my money on that? For whatever reason, either the marketing team caught wind of it or whatevs, but they re-released it in this packaging, and I was like, oh my god, it's an arcade box. It's with an arcade stick and buttons, and you got a picture of Sonic, and more Sonic, and more Sonic. Oh god. So yeah, being the impulsive buyer that I am with Sonic merchandise, I picked this up, and I was, to be honest, I was pretty, you know, ecstatic. Most of the games that this comes with, obviously, you know, I already have, but it's kind of nice, a little display piece, kind of just have it there. And oddly enough, I actually did take this to work and I messed around, you know, with the TV there. But that's a whole different ballgame. So yeah, enough me talking about my journeys of obtaining this, and I shall more or less discuss the actual content. So obviously, you know me, I like to talk about packaging before we talk about the item, and to be honest, this is predominantly more packaging than actual item themselves. The actual item itself is nothing to be or up in arms about, but yeah, okay. So as I mentioned, this is obviously the packaging design as an arcade, which, as we all may not know, Sega predominantly dominated the arcades at one given time. They even still do, depending on where you go. I know my local time zone does have it, so it does have a shape of a classic, you know, arcade kind of cabinet, if you can call it that. At the very top, you obviously have the logo, Sega Mega Drive, which is quite ironic, seeing as it's an arcade and Mega Drive, that's a console. But anyway, you have a little picture of the good old Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for the original Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis, depending on where you are. This is actually more or less stuck on, I'll show you on this side, stuck out onto the actual blister casing of the plastic. Yeah. You know what I mean. The blister thing. Yeah, that. the plastic bit. So yeah, it's held by sticky tape. It was alright, I suppose. The actual item, I will take it out and show you, but that's just basically, once again, just the arcade stick, and this whole top end front aspect of the arcade cabinet is all one solid plastic bit. So if, like I said, I'm not entirely sure if this was on a, you know, on a gaming stand, kids could pick it up, or it was behind a glass door, but I'm guessing it's there for protection and whatnot. At the very bottom, you have once again the classic Mega Drive logo. You have you have the classic what it is, Sega Mega Drive, and you also have Arcade Nano. So it's basically an arcade Nano, which, to be honest, yeah, it works. Video game console, and you have a picture of Sonic the Hedgehog and the classic intro that it were back in the day. Kind of a modern take to it. On the actual side is, I'm pretty sure it's a ring. Yeah, 2 rings interchaining with each other, and you have here plug into TV, plug and play. Pretty straightforward. At the very top, absolutely nothing. At the bottom, nothing. At the top, nothing. I do like how it's kind of like a little chicken effect. On the side, you just have, once again, just the standard logos up there, nothing too interesting. 10 games Sonic, and it won't focus, so it says 10 games including Sonic, 52 plus play levels to select. Pretty nice, decent. Picture of Sonic, what it is, play Sonic the Hedgehog, plus 9 more games, ultra portable video game console. Ooh. Yeah. At the top, once again, exactly the same, absolutely no difference. At the back is probably by far I guess for the most part, the most interesting thing. You have standard logo, I'm not going to go into it. You have the intro selection screen for the original Sonic the Hedgehog. It's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like I wouldn't say portrait, but it's kind of like screwed onto a metallic screen sort of feel. I'm not entirely sure what they were going with that. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. It kind of looks stupid, but hey, it does its purpose. It gives you a visualization of what the games you're going to get. So you have Sonic, you have obviously Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic Spinball. I actually quite like this game. Slow, yes. I hate pinball games, yes. But this, obviously, I'm a Sonic fan. I'm a bit biased with that sense. But I don't know, it's something, it pushed itself more of an adventure pinball experience than a pinball machine itself. So yeah. You have Sonic 3D Blast. Like I said, I've never actually messed around with that game, so I'm not entirely sure if it's the, I'm pretty sure it'll be the Sega Mega Drive version, not the Sega Saturn version, because that's pretty high end. And you have Alex Kidd, love that game. And the other games here. Now you won't be able to focus, but I'll just pretty much tell you, you get, I've never heard of these games. Checkers, Fight and Lose. There's an actual game called Fight and Lose. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, like I said, I purely got this for the display purposes mainly. You know, the original one I was like, why would I want that? This one, display it. Oh my god, it does wonders. People can pick it up, play around with it, whatnot. There are 2 ways to open it, from the top, from the bottom. I recommend the bottom if you're kind of like, you know, gotta collect the box sort of thing. It opens as normal, and a little cabinet slides out. Now, as I mentioned, you can probably see the hollow plastic thing, the whole cylindrical sort of, not cylindrical, but, you know, sort of octagonal. I don't even know, it's not even a circle. Why am I saying cylindrical? It's not even an octagon. But yeah, it's kind of the plastic which holds everything else. It's kind of just slides in. So yeah. So we'll put this aside just to, you know, showcase. This is the actual little arcade nano stick, like you can refer to, and you do get little things. And I'll show you them first. And this is the little canister. This is the actual instructions. You don't really need the instructions, but hey, you gotta give people the instructions, right? Because people don't know how to use things. Okay, so you get battery replacements, battery safety, warnings, and precautions. You know what? I'm going to read the precautions. Guys, not suitable for below 3 years old due to small parts which may cause a choking hazard. Packing has to be kept since it contains important information. Oh, this is interesting. Packing has to be kept since it contains information. What, this? Yeah. Right, the unit, oh, this is good. The unit may malfunction when there is a radio interference appeared on the power line. Guys, I'm not going to bore you with that actually, because it's not as interesting as I initially thought, unlike my previous one where it made you go herp it up. You know, so you have a bunch of more peripherals, basically what the actual joystick does. How to play arcade, it actually gives you the instructions. No, for plasma and LCD TVs, just for thing to be. Oh, so this actually gives you settings recommended for plasmas and LCDs. So yeah, you don't really need it, but it's there just in case you don't know the two basics of it, which, you know, I guess it works. You get this kind of adapter which actually links into the video port. So this goes here as such, and this connects to your TV through the AV connections. Pretty nice. So yeah, pretty nice cable. Doesn't really do much like visually. If you're the sort of guy that's like collects electronics because of the cabling, A, that's an interesting collection you got going, and B, it's just no. This is probably what everybody may or may not be wanting to know about. It's this little nano stick. You won't be able to see it as much, but I'll show you. At the very top you have the logo, which obviously my cam doesn't show, but it's at games. You have obviously the logo Sega Mega Drive, pretty standard, and you have the buttons. Now the buttons are select, and you got A, B, X, and C, which should be Z really, if you think about it. So yeah, those are the buttons, and this is the actual joystick. Now the buttons themselves feel extremely fluent, very concise, it feels reminiscent of the old Sega Mega Drive remotes, where you press a button, you're like, yeah, I know I'm pressing the button. You can even hear it. But the joystick is just too, you know, it doesn't feel fluid. It feels more of a analog stick than admittedly the original Sega Mega Drive did use an analog stick opposed to a digital, but this one just feels weird. Like, it just doesn't feel like you can't really do a circle without thinking you're not doing it right, or it's gonna break. So yeah, as I mentioned, this is where the video port goes, and as I mentioned once again, this is the on and off, which is pretty standard. And over here, if you open up the screws, you take out the lid, you change the batteries, you put it back in. Now the video games themselves are located inside the actual machine itself. So when you plug in the cable, plug it into your TV, change the source to AV source, whatevs, and you turn it on, the starter screen will pop up, and within the actual starter screen you'll basically see all the list of games. You just move up and down to select the game you want, as per mentioned over here. Once you press that, you press the select button, and congratulations, you are now playing. So that's really all that it is to talk about this actual, or besides this little keychain where you can hang it. But then again, you wouldn't necessarily want to hang it, because look at this little flimsy little, it's just a flimsy little metallical thing. I can guarantee you with enough, not even enough force, basic force, you can probably break it, but I'm not going to do it just to prove a point, because that's not what I do. But yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much it really. Like, you can't really complain as such about this. Now, how much did I get it for? Why did I get it? We all know why I got it, but I'm gonna, give me a second, I'll pack this away, guys. You can admire my gorgeous little jumper, because it's getting cold here in Sydney. Okay, how much did I get it for? I think it was £7 UK, which is like $15 Australian, I think it is. I don't know, pounds US. It's like Australian almost. I think Australian we actually buy $1.10. I haven't checked the stock markets. Anyway, so yeah, for US it's probably about what, $16. For Australia it's about $15. For the UK it's about £7, I think it is. For Europe, what with the crappy economy that's going on, I don't know, €10 maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's like a nice little piece. If you never had the original games and you just want a little portable device, definitely pick this up. It's definitely something nice, catchy, it's affordable, it's cheap. You can just plug and play, go wild, go thingy. If you obviously have the new consoles like the PlayStation, Xbox, you can just download them as it is. But I think it might cost more if you download them individually opposed to getting this. And you do get some very classic old games that aren't in the PSN store. I can't say for the Xbox store, the Xbox Live, but with the PlayStation, it doesn't actually have it. The Wii U, that's a whole different ballgame. That's a new thing. Anyway, guys, in terms of rarity, look, it's definitely, you can get this, definitely 1 star. I'll say no, it's actually harder now because I haven't seen it lately, so I'll probably give it about 2.5 stars out of 10. So it's rare, but not exactly rare, if that makes sense. So yeah, anyway guys, thanks for watching this review, and stay in next week. Once I get better, I'll do another review. Anyway guys, speed on and take care.